Oh, now we're recording. Ooh, look at us
Oh, we
go.
are? I was about to say
Yeah, we
that
are.
the Palace of Versailles is giving free virtual tours, so in case you wanted to see the Palace of Versailles,
Everyone's getting free virtual tours. You can't go anywhere.
yeah, I have a free virtual tour of my computer. Here we go.
You know
Oh,
how else you can get a free virtual tour? You can just go to, like, Google Maps.
Yeah, Google
hold
Maps,
on.
Street View, let's
For
go.
for
Kicking
all
it
the
old
people
school.
who are just annoyed that their campus tours have been canceled, just go to Google Maps.
Yeah, just be
Yeah.
like,
There
oh man,
there
I
you
really wish I
go.
could have spent my spring break in this city. Just go to Google Maps, Street View that shit. Just go, man.
I'll
You
have
got it.
Google Maps. I remember vividly in middle school, me and my friends used to actually, this is really irresponsible, don't do this, but we would look up each other's houses on on
Oh
Google
yeah,
Maps,
absolutely.
Oh, I do that
and
all the
Spend
then
time.
all the fun.
just, like, traverse the streets online in school. So,
All the time. That's how you do it.
we're all supposed to be staying inside, staying online, and
Stay jacked into the mainframe, folks.
if you wanna, like, if you wanna take God. If you wanna take a run, but you don't wanna get up, just go to Google Maps.
And just click really quickly.
No, I make my Sims do that for me.
There we go. Perfect. Hey, Brian's here this week. You're back.
I know, because of quarantine.
I
I
know.
can't run.
I can't believe we had to. I can't believe a global outbreak had to happen, and now you're like, I think maybe now I will be on Afterbite.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
I love how we're your, like, last thought, Brian. You're like, "Oh, right. I also can do this as a hobby."
I literally
for fun.
I literally didn't even think about that.
It's like an
My first thought,
afterthought.
an Afterbite thought. Aren't you so happy I'm back?
No.
No, okay.
Welcome back to Afterbite, a Vampire Diaries fancast. It's only 10 years too late. We're back at full force, all three of us. We are a trifecta. A
tribrid,
Power
if you
Rangers
will.
Megazord of Afterbite. Okay, well...
Why not try all three?
So this week, we are talking... I'm just going
Hold on,
right
I gotta
past
do a flip real quick.
Brian, this is an audio medium. You can just say that you did a flip and people will have to believe you.
I'm too
That flip was
Dana, I'm
iconic.
too
Let me
fat to
just
do a
say, that
flip.
flip was iconic.
That flip was so good.
It
was
was.
so
Okay,
good.
anyway.
Do you want to talk about the Vampire Diaries? Season 2.
Season 2. My second favorite season.
What's your first favorite season? Season 1?
Oh no, my first favorite season, season 3.
Oh, so you had
But
to, so when you were watching this live, you were like, "Oh, this is, like, okay," and then when season 3 came, you, like, finally were like, "Okay, this is a good show."
no, episode 6 of season 1 is when I fell in love with the show.
I'm pretty sure Jordan and I both dunked on that episode.
Yeah, I think you did. I was like, I rated it a 10 out of 10, and you guys were like, okay, like maybe like a 7. Like, and I did notice, because I did put in like the rest of my ratings for like the rest of the week, for the other episodes that I was not here for, because, Anyway, I looked at the ratings for the season finale, which is actually one of my favorite episodes. I love that you guys rated it like 7, and Lane, sorry I missed you, number 4. But what? And I'm like, here's a 10.
That is true. Your last for Founders Day. No, wait, here for Isabel, right? I ranked it a 3, Jordan a 5, Blaine a 4, and then you ranked it a 7. And then for Founders Day, the finale, Lane, Jordan, and I all ranked it a 7, and you ranked it a 10.
I live with consistency branding.
We just know, like, Brian has, like, a huge Vampire Diaries bias, and we just all have to accept it as fact.
We have to live through that I am better than all of you and love the Vampire Diaries.
Okay, well, one of those statements is true.
I'm not better than you, let's be real here.
You do love the Vampire Diaries, but how about we talk about it? Let's talk about episode
do
3,
it.
Bad Moon Rising.
Oh, should I do my
Hey,
rating for the other 2 episodes?
you ranked them both 10s because you're.
Oh yeah, I did. I forgot.
You
Listen, it was
both
like
ranked them
4
both
a.m. when I
10.
did that. It was
We
like
both
4 a.m.
ranked
when I
them
did
all
that.
pretty high, so
We did all do it pretty high. So, hey guys, do you think this episode's about werewolves? Hey
I wonder.
guys, do you think this
It's called
episode's
Bad Moon
about
Rising,
werewolves?
right?
Yeah.
I think it's about moons. Yes,
Oh,
thank you.
okay.
And good night.
That's it.
Good
They're
night,
all getting
moon.
really big into astrology. That's it. They're
Mhm.
just like, oh, getting really big into astrology. That's it. No werewolves, nowhere.
Nope.
None.
It's the Vampire Diaries, not the Werewolf Diaries.
Fun fact I learned while looking up this episode is that this episode actually aired on the night of a full moon.
I
Oh,
remember that.
was that
for real.
intentional?
Straight up, it had to have been, right? Like, it had to have been.
I don't believe it was not intentional. I believe
Julie Plec controls the stars.
She controls the moon. She asked the moon for a favor just this once. Just as a treat.
Anyway, you know what is great for the community? Werewolves.
I love how Brian hears me trying to make a transition and he's like, actually, hold on. I'm gonna make this transition better. Like, if you could hold
was
on,
that
I'm
better?
gonna make a better transition. No, it wasn't, Brian.
Oh,
I'm kidding. But
I
do you
tried.
want to hear the Netflix description for this episode?
yes.
Uh-huh.
It is. Elena, Damon, and Alaric go to Duke University to search through Isabel's research, hoping to uncover any clues surrounding the Lockwood family.
Wait, why didn't I know it was Duke University? Was that said?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Duke.
I just was not paying attention.
I don't know which of the writers or showrunners went to Duke, because one of them had to have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
most definitely.
they heavily had Duke in like season 1 because of Alaric and Isabel, and then like
Yeah.
season 2, ta-da!
Who went to fucking Duke? Also, what did they have to pay Duke University to use their name like that?
Probably a lot of money. But also, like, when I was in high school, we had college prep classes, and one of the things we had to do, and I think our sophomore or junior year, was to choose 10 universities and then describe what you like about them, what you don't like about them, and then different things like how much they cost, what's the GPA average for them.
Man, that's really depressing, is to be like, what do you like about colleges? Also, they're gonna put you in debt for the rest of your life.
Which
yeah,
one has
that
the
was
most
really brought up
vampires?
a lot. That was not brought
That's
up a
true.
lot. So,
Yeah.
but Duke University was one of the colleges that I chose. Do I remember anything from that presentation? No.
Hey, well,
All
now
you
you know
remember
one thing.
is that you remember that Isabel and Alaric Saltzman went there.
Didn't
Wait,
even
her name
remember
isn't
that.
Isabel something.
Didn't even.
I
I
remember
didn't
that.
even know what
Isabel
college
Fleming?
they went to.
Is Isabel Fleming. I keep thinking
Get your shit together, Brian.
I thought you were
Listen,
supposed to be the expert.
I am the expert and I'm an idiot.
I am bringing my fist down. Order in the court, motherfuckers. Let's get started here.
Yes.
Okay?
Okay, B.
Okay.
Bring my fist down. Hi. Welcome to Afterbite. I'm
Hi.
re-introing the show because you all brought me very off task.
Oh, we went
Alaric's
so far
back
off
now.
task. Yes.
Alaric is back. He has nice hair.
We don't know where he went, but he came back.
He came back and he has a nice haircut, and that's all I know. That's all I give a shit, man. I'm just like, he came back, and that's the only note I have for that scene is, well, his hair looks nice. That's it.
I don't even think I have a note for that scene. I don't know what scene you're talking about.
The very first one where Damon, and Elena are talking with, he's talking with Damon and Elena.
And Stefan,
and they're like,
don't forget about
hey,
him.
And then Stefan, yeah, and they're like, hey, let's go to Duke.
Well, I think it was because after the last episode, because of Mason, they wanted to be like, okay, so we need answers as to what Mason is. And Alaric was like, oh, great, it's the lycanthrope. And they're all just like, werewolves? Ah, those aren't real. Fake. And
Fake news. Fake news, Alaric Saltzman.
Okay, so now the scene is like, now the scene is coming back to me because I remember seeing Damon enter and I was like, ew. So yeah, definitely no.
Damon also makes, I'm gonna say this, Damon makes the most clever reference I have seen the Vampire Diaries make thus far.
I didn't know what he was referencing. at all.
He mentioned something super fucking clever. So he mentions Lon Chaney and Lon Chaney Jr. Lon Chaney is an old silent film actor who had a film called A Man with a Thousand Faces, I think. Lon Chaney Jr. starred in a film called The Wolf Man. The plot of The Wolf Man is that Lon Chaney Jr. comes back to like after town after his brother has died, buys a silver cane from a pawn shop to impress a girl, and then later that day gets attacked by a wolf. He kills the wolf. Later, he learns it was not a wolf, but a man, and now he is a werewolf. And the person who played the werewolf is Bela Lugosi, who also played the original Dracula. It's the most clever fucking reference in the Vampire Diaries thus far to an old bullshit movie and a weird combination of actors, and it was made by Damon Salvatore, and that makes me so angry. That is all I'm going to say. Welcome to B's Movie Corner. I really like old movies, and The Wolfman is very fucking funny. It's very good. Tyler's following his uncle around like a lost puppy, and they're both very ripped lost puppies. And I just want to say that Tyler's arms look very nice, right? Like, I don't know what
Tyler
he was
Lockwood
doing.
is beautiful, really nice. And we have no choice but to stand.
I like his arm. That's all I got. Yeah. I stand his arm in particular. That's it. That's all I like.
Welcome to the Tyler
Lockwood
arm fan club.
You can say he's beautiful, but that does. Listen, we can say he's beautiful, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna stand him. That's not how it works for me. He needs a redemption arc for me to be able to stand him.
He is not gonna get one for a while. Well, he goes on a redemption roller coaster, actually. It's a wild ride. Right. There's some ups, there's some downs, there's some twists and turns. Love it. Also, speaking of the men of the Vampire Diaries, Matt is trying to like hit up Caroline for like a fun day at the swimming hole, which is the worst name for like a lake. And I just really like Matt's shirt in that scene. It's just like a little red pattern shirt. I'm like, okay, I like it. You look like a funky, fun boy.
I just kept feeling bad for Caroline, honestly. I was like, can someone please help her so she can be happy?
Okay, so plot twist of events. I wrote a note about this scene.
Oh shit, Brian, you wrote notes?
I did. Brian. And the note is, are you ready for this? Let me just read it out loud. Caroline and Matt. That's it.
Wow. So many words.
No, but I did add I love how he is trying to be the best boyfriend ever and find her. And Caroline is just scared shitless that she will hurt him. I love her, and yes, I do.
It's so cute.
Yeah, Caroline becoming a vampire was the best thing that ever happened on this show.
It really is. Honestly, you're right. That's the best plot point of season 2 thus far. And I know we're only like an hour and a half into season 2, but like best plot point by far.
Yeah. I enjoy Caroline becoming a vampire, but I also feel like really sad about it, if that makes sense.
It's a good kind of sad though. You're like, this is a good story, even if it does make me personally just a little bit depressed.
Yeah, exactly.
But I just like how Caroline like kind of like self-isolated herself.
Caroline's right. Caroline is predicting, and she is ahead of the curve. Coronavirus hoops. She's just a vampire and doesn't want to hurt her boyfriend.
First off, Caroline Forbes would be the first person to self-isolate herself.
She would.
And have board games and snacks and everything ready for all of her friends.
Exactly like Caroline.
And hand sanitizer.
She's too much of a perfectionist to not have everything locked down, you know?
I mean, have we not seen that episode? Never mind. We actually haven't yet, so never mind.
Have not.
Anyway, but like it's just interesting because like normally, because Caroline's this bubbly, like I need to go out, extroverted person. So to kind of see her like having to waltz around the house and be mopey and sad. It was interesting. It was a little different.
It was. Nice. It was a real change of pace for her. And then I think later in the episode, Stefan I think kind of realized how much that was like hurting her, because he's like, this is not Caroline Forbes. This is a sad shadow of Caroline Forbes. Let's get her back in the spotlight, baby.
Stepping into the light.
I already saw it coming. I was like, Brian's gonna sing the Kaylee song. I already see it happening.
Yep.
In order to get Caroline Forbes back into the light, Stefan enlists the coolest person he knows, Bonnie Bennett.
Yes,
He's
that is
And
the
I
like,
coolest person he knows.
actually wrote a note about this. I
oh my
wrote a
god,
note
you
about
wrote notes.
this.
I'm really shocked about this.
Okay, so what I wrote was Stefan and Bonnie's chemistry is so underrated in the show. Everyone either goes Bonnie or Damon, Bonnie and Damon, Stefan and Caroline, but never Stefan and Bonnie. They're iconic friends with issues, and I love it. That's the
They
note.
are really good. You can see how, like, Stefan's just like, I'm gonna be your fucking hype man, whether you hate me right now or not. Like, what the fuck is up, bitch? I'm out your side your window with pom-poms and a megaphone. Let's go.
Stefan Salvatore would 100%, no matter what he and Bonnie have gone through, which anyway, is interesting because it's just he knows that Bonnie is this powerful witch, and at any second she could just snap her fingers and he'd be dead. So it's
She
not like
Yeah.
he's
doesn't. She
getting
doesn't even need to snap her fingers. She could just sit there, just sit there, and then
Sit there
dead.
and give off the vibes, and then he's
Exactly.
dead.
Just like vibing, and then death.
Yeah, and plus Stefan kind of is more like figures out, like he kind of talks to her and kind of figures out what she can do and like what she needs to do and what the right thing to do. Meanwhile, Damon's just like, you do this and you will burn somebody alive. Let's do it, Bonnie. But yeah.
Damon's like, here, bring this library book to me, and then I will know that you are a powerful witch. Whereas Stefan actually did his homework, and he's like, I think you can do this if you try hard, if you like look it up. And Bonnie's like,
Well,
don't believe you, sounds fake.
I think initially, I think Bonnie knew that she could do it. I think she just didn't want to do it, if that makes sense. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
she's like giving excuses. She's like, she's like, oh, I don't like know how to do it. I like no, it's too hard. And Stefan's like, I know you can do this, Bonnie. Like, I know you're messing around with me. I know you just don't want to help Caroline, and you have to help Caroline. You have to.
I will admit though, how Bonnie is acting right now. I remember when this like was airing, like, and it was kind of when I started getting into the fandom itself. People were absolutely shitting on Bonnie during all of this. They were like, Bonnie, you're being such a bad friend. And I'm like, you have to remember, Bonnie just lost her grams because of vampires. She's been used by vampires, and now she has to help her friend who is a vampire, and her friend who's a vampire just killed someone that she was kind of close with, but not really close with. But like, it's just, Bonnie is just done. She's just like, I don't want to be taken advantage of by vampires anymore. But in the end, it's still her friend. So and I'm like, I understand why people hated her, but at the same time, Bonnie was valid in everything that she did.
We should explain. Stefan approaches Bonnie to ask her to make Caroline a daylight ring.
Yeah.
I feel like we haven't explained that, and that does throw the earlier part of this conversation into actual, like, it makes actual sense here. So Bonnie's like, nah, I don't want to fucking make her a daylight ring. And then eventually she's like, sure, I'll agree to it on my terms, though. And then she goes, and then Stefan, and Caroline are just chilling in Caroline's bedroom.
I mean, where else would you chill?
Just hanging, just chilling.
Just
and Caroline's having kind of a fucking moment.
Yeah.
But also, she's been through a lot. I think we should give her this moment. But also, she's like, I don't want to wear this fucking ring. This is an ugly ring. And Bonnie's like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Are you fucking kidding me?
But also, that's such a Caroline thing to do. And
exactly.
as we've already learned, as we've already learned, her Caroline that was human has now been amplified to the extent of she's gonna just say she doesn't want to wear this fucking ring, even though she should probably wear it because that's the only way she's gonna be out in the daylight.
I still think my favorite thing. Oh, sorry, continue.
Stefan is just this entire scene is just Stefan being like a tired dad. Mm-hmm. He's just like, she'll fucking take the ring. Shut up. Take the ring. Yeah. Shut the fuck up, Caroline. Just stop. Take the ring, Caroline.
My favorite part of that entire scene is after Bonnie did the spell, Caroline's like, that was it. Nothing witchy happened. Like, and then Stefan just goes, Caroline.
He's just so done already.
But then the best thing ever happens. Bonnie just is so fucking fed up, opens the shades, and she goes, yep, it worked.
Trial by fire. Let's find out, shall we?
Like, Legacy's jumped. Legacy's wishes they could do that kind of scene.
But also, You have to remember, the only experience Caroline has had with magic thus far is that time in season
Yes.
1 where Bonnie was getting possessed. They did a whole seance,
That scene
and
is
Emily
iconic.
Bennett
True.
Emily Bennett was
Forgot about
possessing
that.
shit, flickering lights, throwing open windows, starting fires. That's Caroline's only experience
I
with
and
magic thus far.
and,
How
like, also
anticlimactic would it be now to be like, oh yeah, it's just done. We don't have to do anything else. That's it. Like, bro.
but also, like, I also was questioning if Bonnie actually did it because of what happened last
Also true.
season where she, like, did all that witchy stuff and was like, "Oh, it's done," and then it's not done. So, it really makes you question, like, when Bonnie does things, right? So, like, I feel like we now see, like, oh, when Bonnie does something witchy, it's very, like, small, like, you can't really tell it's happening, but, like
That's because the CGI budget was shit back then.
also
What
telling you that.
CGI budget?
But also, like, I don't know, when is Bonnie really doing magic and when is she just actually just putting on a show for people, you know?
That's true, because she did
God, I
do
love
that
Bonnie
in
Bennett
season 1. She did do
with
that in
the
season
with yeah,
1
with the device.
with the Gilbert
And she
device.
also did it with a few other things, yeah.
Yep, so Bonnie
But
Bennett
then
is
also,
that
like
witch.
I go back to, like, Bonnie and her gram and, like,
Mm.
during the first season also when it was Gran's last episode and they're trying to keep the door open and then so that the vampire or Stefan can walk through or whatever. Um
Oh, and there's, like, wind and fire rushing
yeah.
around them and
So it's
everything,
like
and it's like, "Okay, I see you."
it could be either way, you know? It could be a
Yep,
whole
it all
commotion or it
just
could be something as small as nothing and witchy stuff could be going on.
I love that.
yeah. But I will say that like that was really uh I lost my train of thought. I literally just lost
Mhm.
it. It came in station and it just kept going. Anyway,
Alright.
but yeah,
Goodbye,
yep,
train.
the train's gone. Anyway, the train's gone and ran over Tyler Lockwood. Oh God.
Oh, no.
There's this one scene with Tyler and his mom where she just says, "This is the South, honey," but no one
Yeah.
likes her reminiscence about the slave days. And I was like,
Oh
finally,
yeah,
at
when
least they said it out loud.
yeah, I keep forgetting that the show is like taking place in Virginia because
Yeah.
like I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh boy,
I
and I keep
never
forgetting
Yeah.
that.
forget. I'm always reminded of it whenever I see them in the past and with like
In
their
the
old timey
I
flashback.
clothes.
know with Emily, and I'm just like,
I'm
that
just
white
like,
guilt really just jumped out of me. Jesus Christ.
it's really I think it's like crazy how the show literally could have taken place anywhere. And they're like, let's set it in Virginia in the South, where there's still a teacher who has a Confederate flag in his classroom.
Okay. Well, to be fair, I'm not saying that that's a good thing. That's a horrible thing to have a Confederate flag. But I do remember that in the books, it wasn't Mystic Falls, it was Fells Church, Virginia. So they were still keeping in the Virginia like
I don't
area.
care.
I know, but
Listen,
they're still kind of
book
playing to it.
adaptations don't have to be TV shows adaptations don't have to be directly related to the book adaptation. That was a choice
As
they
we've seen,
made.
Yeah, but to
Damon's
be fair,
Raven. Exhibit A.
Stefan and Damon were from Italy though, so Stefan and Damon had Italian accents in the book apparently. Like, I am not kidding.
I wanna see in the show them trying Italian accents. Why is that not a thing?
Give me the Italian accents or give me death.
Papa da Boopy, Elena Gilbert, Papa da Boopy.
Somebody please
I
do you remember
almost
that
did like wee wee, but I'm like, that's French.
do you remember that old Twitter meme where somebody would put someone's name into Google Translate and then have it be said in a different accent and then they'll have the person like in the scenery with like if it was
Yep,
French to have
yep.
a baguette in their hand. I want someone to do that with Stefan and Damon.
Oh,
That'll be our
I'm in
promo for this
self-isolation.
episode.
Guess what I'm doing?
Hey Brian, let me do that and then send it to me for the promo for this episode, so people are like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is the fun podcast."
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah. where are we going with this? Oh yeah, the swimming hole party. Yay!
Wait, before that, let's backtrack to the other plot line that's happening in this episode, which
Which
is
one?
Elena and Damon and Alaric going down to Duke University
Yeah.
to
Dun, 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 dun,
on,
dun, dun, dun.
on Isabel's research. So awkward road trip scenes.
Yes.
Always the
Okay,
worst.
hang on. I have a note.
Uh-huh.
I have a note. I have
note.
notes
I
about
know
this.
you have notes and you're very excited about them.
I do. One of my favorite thing about this storyline is how Stefan like 100% trusts Elena to like do all this, and he isn't trying to be like piggyback boyfriend. It's like, I'm going with you, but he's like, no, I gotta stay with Caroline because he's the best boy. But my favorite moment was when they're getting in the car and Elena just kisses Stefan right in front of Damon, all like passionate and like blah 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 blah. And how I wrote it was, it's big dick energy and a power move, and what 100% is.
It is most definitely a
It's very
power
good.
move. It's also, I feel like, in a show where there's like the whole jealous boyfriend who's jealous of the guy that the girl's with. That scene will definitely happen, but it definitely be like the boyfriend kissing the girlfriend to like show dominance, and this is my possession. Do not touch her. But in this case, it's
Elena said, "This is my vampire. Back the fuck off."
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, the road trip scene, awesome.
Road trips. We love a good road trip. I love a good road trip. I like shows that can do a road trip scene pretty well. It's a pretty good road trip scene. So they arrive at Duke University, which I will say as obnoxiously as possible every time. And they meet
Duke University.
Duke University. Welcome to Duke University. They meet Courtney Ford, who is, I don't know what her name was in the show.
Vanessa.
I only know her as Courtney Ford.
Vanessa.
And I just love Courtney Ford. I just want to say that. Love her.
Vanessa.
Love this for you.
Where's
Shut
she
up.
from?
She is from Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
She's also in a few other shows. She had a little spot on Criminal Minds for a while. But she's in Legends of Tomorrow. She's real good. I love her.
She's a good actress. I will give her that much.
She is really good. I love her. And she shows up. She leads them all into the office, and she's like, "Here, hang around. I'm gonna go grab like the light or something." And then Damon, they look around in silence for a while, and then Damon's like, "Where did she go?" And I just love the fact that something in the back of his mind was like, "This is about to go poorly, isn't it?"
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, it does. She shoots at Elena. And Damon jumps in front of her, takes an arrow in just like the back, which is a weird one. And
I did write though, Vanessa straight up was like, Delana doesn't deserve rights, and just shot Damon with a crossbow.
And Vanessa's correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway.
She gets disarmed by Rick, and then later, I think there was a commercial break, but I don't think there was another scene in between this one. Later, she is like, "Yeah, what the fuck's Catherine and Damon doing here? They're both vampires. Damon died in 1860, what the fuck ever. And Catherine is, shut up, Brian. And Catherine should have been dead a long time ago." And Alaric has to be like, "Yeah, I know, but
it's all real. Surprise."
My first question is, how did she know that was Catherine and Damon? Like, does
pictures.
I get pictures, but like, so did Isabel just like have pictures of vampires just laying around? Like,
I think in a later scene, they show like Isabel's research on Catherine, and there's a picture of Catherine in there, so obviously it looks like Elena, and there's probably a picture of Damon or something, because Isabel and Damon like.
I guess my question is like, where did she get those pictures? Oh gosh, what is going on?
I'm throwing up because I just remember when Isabel and Damon hooked up.
Yeah, that Damon fucked Elena's mom. I'm sorry to have to remind you of this.
Oh gosh. Okay.
I sound like Anna Faris. Okay, anyway, continue, Jordan.
My question is, how were those pictures taken? Like, where'd she get them from? Were they like in like
They were done behind the scenes of season 1 or season 2 probably. They probably just had Nina.
not what I
Joking.
meant. Not what I
They
meant.
probably like took the pictures because like they still had to keep up the appearances of like being normal humans, and in that time period, like photography was probably. I'm getting way too in depth with this. Jesus
No,
Christ!
I want to get in depth. I want to
Okay.
understand.
I
I
think
think
it's just
it's
like
the same way that Stefan had a picture of Catherine. I think it was nearly that same picture because she was a Victorian lady, and that's what you did when you were a lady. You got pictures taken of
and
you
her parents died in the Atlanta fires. Oh
in
my
a
lord!
tragic Atlanta fire.
I
The
think
tragic
I
Atlanta
think
fire, my
I'm just wondering,
lordy.
like, I'm thinking about the process of uncovering those photos and like coming up with all this like information. Like, I just wonder, like, how did Isabel even start doing this? But also, like, I feel like the university's resources, like, how many resources do they have? Because
How
that's
did
like a
she
lot of
justify that grant?
exactly. That's like a lot of like digging and money to be doing for like vampires. I mean, come
I
on.
mean, I think they mentioned that like it's under like some other like kind of like thingy, like I forget what the name of it was, but like I think that they're like kind of like hiding it in like plain sight. Like occult studies isn't like we're studying the occult. It's just kind of like a theorist,
But, like,
theorist,
I'm just thinking about, like,
theorist.
how a university works, and they're not putting all of their money into occult studies,
No one knows
especially
how
be
universities and TV shows works. They need it for the plot point, and that's good enough for them.
like like yeah, it's just crazy to me that she got all this money and was able to go so far as to get, like, pictures of these, um like, vampires, quote, unquote, "vampires,"
And
and then,
also go
like
as far to turn herself into a vampire.
exactly, like, that just takes, like, a lot of resources, and I'm just, like,
Hmm.
looking at Duke like, how do you also not know about all of this that's going on?
Duke University, what are you doing, Duke?
What are you up
Duke
to?
University, we take pride in our vampire studies course. Anyway, but I did like the Duke stuff, the Duke University stuff, as you might say. Um, it was nice because we kind of got some answers as to werewolves, obviously,
Well,
that they
let's
are.
let's table that for a
We'll come
little
back
bit.
to that. We'll come back to
Let's
that.
go back to the swimming hole now. Brian, do your teen party bit. I know you're itching to do it. Do that teen party bit, boy.
What?
You got nothing for a teen party bit? Come on, you were so fucking
No,
jazzed for it. I'm gonna just let you take the reins on this
no.
one, boy.
Um, they're swimming all the time. Oh, I did actually write a note about that. Hold on.
Okay, I
Where is
thought
it?
so.
Where is it? 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 Where is it?
No one. Brian, I wrote a note!
Mystic Falls. Welcome to Mystic Falls, where every teenager is super jacked and super beautiful. Like, damn. Literally.
All of them
Every
are jacked!
teenager.
Yeah.
Every teenager, including Matt Donovan, which is mwah, thank you. Oof. Why?
Also, okay.
This show is why I question my sexuality as in high school. Like this fucking show. I hate it. I love it though. But fuck.
Matt Donovan is getting hit on by some girl named Amy Bradley.
Where is she
Uh,
from?
Queen.
Why do
The
I
Good
know her
Place.
face?
The Good Place. You know
She
her
was
from The
in
Good
The
Place.
Good Place. She was
Oh,
also in a lot of like Disney Channel stuff as well.
okay.
She's also in a lot of
That's
Disney
how I
stuff.
knew her.
Her name. I watch this show with subtitles, and you know how they spell her fucking name? You know
How?
how they
With an
spell
I and
Amy? It's
two E's.
Aimee.
Yeah.
Hey, what
Knew
the
it.
fuck?
There's an
This
actress that
show
I
is such.
like who has her name
Hold on.
spelled like that, and it's kind of
Hold
like
on.
rip.
Let's open the Holy Bible
It is
of the Vampire
absolutely
Diaries
spelled
Wiki.
Aimee. I looked it up on the Vampire Diaries
Amy
wiki to double check.
Amy Bradley.
It's some white ass
Oh
bullshit.
God.
It's some
And
white
she's not
ass
even
bullshit.
right.
I know. It's just some white ass white people names, dude.
Sometimes your parents give
Julie,
you a
what are
white
you
ass
doing?
name. Like when
Oh
I
my
was
God, it
born,
is.
my parents decided to name me with a U and an extra N.
Exactly. Jordan, your name is some white bullshit, even though I know you're not white.
Yeah,
Your name is
Oh,
some white person
baby.
bullshit.
it really
Where did
is.
my notes go? Oh, there they are.
Oh,
Found
darn,
them.
you lost your notes.
I lost them again. Hold on.
Oh
Found them.
God.
Brian, get your
Okay,
notes
anyway.
together.
But I did so kind of like backtracking slightly when Catherine, Jesus Christ, when
This-
I do it
Caroline,
too. I do it too all the time.
when Caroline and Stefan are hunting for squirrels, which is
Mhm.
or bunnies, whichever they prefer. I like how Stefan, we finally get like an explanation about like how vampires are like amplified versions of their human selves. And I loved what Caroline said. So I'm basically an insecure, neurotic control freak on crack. Like, perfect. Like amazing.
yeah.
I just wanted to bring attention to that because that was a great scene. I loved it. Thank you.
And
Anyway,
that's when
back
I
to Amy
said,
Bradley.
that's when I said Caroline really needs therapy.
She really does.
Someone
They
get
all
her some
need
therapy.
There's no therapist good enough for Caroline Forbes.
But also, somebody could make an effort.
Yeah. Currently, I feel like Stefan is like subbing in.
He's trying, man.
Stefan.
He's trying his best.
Stefan's playing Lexi. Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Oh no, never mind. I just had a thought, and it's not a good thought. Anyway.
Shut up, Brian. No thoughts are good
it's
thoughts.
It's a spoiler, so I'm not going to say it.
Great.
Okay, good.
Please don't say it.
At some point during this sequence here, Stefan, while laughing, says, "I'm not laughing," which, hey, Steph, that's a lie, bud. That's just some bullshit, buddy. And then Caroline's like, "Are you laughing?" He's like, "No. Why would I be laughing? No." Like, Stefan. That guy.
I love your fake laugh, B.
Thanks. It's the laugh I use on the phones at work. Some Medicare beneficiary tries to hit me with a bad joke.
I did like how Amy Bradley was hitting on Matt a lot. And Caroline comes up and she's just really jealous and like compels Amy to go hit on someone else's boyfriend.
Yeah.
I didn't write that as a note. That just came from the back part of my brain somewhere. Jesus Christ.
She actually says to go hit on someone who's single, which I think is a great. Love that for you, Caroline.
I thought it was someone else's boyfriend.
Nope, it's somebody who's single because she chooses Tyler Lockwood. And
great choice, by the way.
Just ask him straight up. She's like, "Are you single?" And he's like, "Yeah, what's up, girl?" She's like, "Actually, I don't like you, but that's later." So, cut back to Duke University, where the gang learns of the sun and the moon curse, or the curse of the sun and the moon.
I really liked this.
Insert here. Dun, dun, dun.
It is a secret curse that will help us later. We'll circle back around to that one plenty of times.
This is a secret magical tool we'll use for later.
I think this is like just such a cool concept for them to do, where like vampires and werewolves are like intertwined in some way. That's good writing.
Yeah.
It is. The mythology of this show, now that they're actually getting into it, the mythology of this show, not bad. At a base level, right? Vampires can only be out during the night. Werewolves are slaves to the moon. They can only change during then, and they don't have control over their actions. Werewolves, not as strong as vampires, but can kill them if they bite them. Like, okay, this is a solid checks and balances.
Yes, it's very well balanced.
Like, watching this live, because I know like how this all plays out, obviously. But like watching this live, when they started doing the sun and the moon curse, I remember literally being like, what the fuck does that mean? And then it kind of just like, because I remember like looking at the books and like being like, oh, maybe there's something in the books about that. There was nothing in the books about that. This was something that was like new and like interesting. It's just like,
maybe there's a way to departure from the source material.
Yeah, I just wanted to check, and there was nothing. Anyway, Elena became an angel at that point in the books. Anyway, but
so what? God, I want to do a book club on these books.
We need to do it.
Brian, can we do a book club?
We have to, and it'll force me to reread those books, and Anyway.
You sound so excited.
The Aztec curse was really interesting. Like, it was something different, and it was something like, it wasn't like, with werewolves, because for me, with werewolves, it was always in Native American culture, and skinwalkers, and blah, 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 blah. They're like, no, werewolves are Aztec. Surprise!
Straight up, Aztec guy. Well, it was an Aztec story, is like an Aztec myth that she found it in, which I now want to know.
What I know, are Aztecs not one of the first Native Americans?
I mean, they are Native South Americans. Yes, Brian's just a dumbass. He's just thinking of Native North Americans.
Oh God.
Yeah,
okay.
Well, I'm saying like that's like, but like it was just like it was a change of like the switch up a little bit, like, of that story.
Yes,
Obvious.
I understand what you're saying.
Mhm.
I thought
Staying
I was
silent
just
now.
being like, "Oh, did I remember that fact wrong?"
No, you
No,
are correct.
you were right. You were right. I was just like a lot of it was just like North
Yeah,
American
I get what you're
Yeah.
saying, yeah.
native culture
Yeah.
for werewolves. So it was nice to have something different. Also, werewolf bite is fatal. Everyone was like, okay, great, we can take on some werewolves. We're stronger than them. And then she was like, yeah, but surprise. If they bite you,
But
you die. All right, is there a cure? No, there is no cure.
sucks.
You just gonna die.
Sucks to suck, buddy.
So wait, you know what's also very interesting? We now know like 2 ways to kill a vampire. Like give them a werewolf bite or like stab them with like a really good piece of wood. What we
Or
don't
pencil.
Yeah, or pencil. What we
Or rip off their head.
Mhm.
what we
Or
don't
take out their
know
heart.
or
Burn them
set them
alive.
on fire. Yeah. What we
Hmm.
don't know is how do you kill a werewolf?
It's
And we will
interesting
get
too.
and this is a special mouse tool we'll use for later.
This one we will actually circle back to later in this episode.
We will.
So, Elena calls up Stefan to be like, "Hey, werewolves kind of exist and also may be fatal to vampires. Maybe stay inside tonight.
And
Maybe
then
just
And
like
also,
half a night
surprise,
it.
it's a full moon.
and
Also,
then
it's a full moon.
And then, so we didn't mention before how at this point when Elena is calling, not David, when Elena is calling Stefan, Caroline and Matt are reconciling because because Matt got mad at Caroline for like sending Amy away because Caroline was being insecure,
Mm-hmm.
and then now Caroline is trying to reconcile with Matt.
And they make out in the woods.
Well, yeah, they've
They
headed to
are. I would like to give this award now. They are the horny kids in a horror movie.
Yeah,
Everybody give them
they
a round
are.
of applause. They are the horny kids in a horror movie. I'm so happy for them.
I'm not going to clap because I'm afraid I'll ruin my audio.
We're
That's
already
very
running our
likely to
audio, so
happen.
you know what?
Oh, okay, great. But I did like that during all of this, Tyler, being the little prick that he is following his fucking uncle around, who's acting very Uncle Mason. And Uncle Mason is chaining himself up. And the one note I wrote about this, shirtless Mason Lockwood. We love to see it. Taylor Kinney. We miss you, boo-boo. Anyway, it was great because as soon as he starts to transform and he's all locked up, he's safe, Tyler brings frickin' Amy Bradley down into the cellar, and
Tyler's
Mason has
such an
to
idiot
bolt
for
his,
that move. Can I just
and
say?
Tyler has to, yeah, he really is, and Mason has to bolt his ass out of there, covered in chains, mid-transition, which, by the way, the werewolf transformation is scary as hell.
It looks painful as fuck.
Yeah.
You could hear like because the one thing I hate is like bones cracking and like things like that. So I remember when I first watched this, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And I like
Yeah.
that he transformed in his car too. Like nothing, like he was fine. But I also loved Stefan just rolling up on it, and he's like, "What's this?" And then all of a sudden, a wolf just busts out of the backseat.
It's such a good horror movie cliche where Stefan's like, "Okay, I think whatever was around here is gone now. I'll just,
Yeah.
I guess, let down my guard." And then, boom, wolf, bitch. There's a dog. Like,
I was
so
so
there's
Yeah.
during
wolf
this entire
now.
scene, I was just like so concerned for Caroline. I was like, someone
Yeah, I
please
did
go
write.
save her.
I wrote more notes. Are you so shocked? I wrote Stefan facing a werewolf. We love to see it. Caroline facing a werewolf. We love to see it. Steroline facing a werewolf. Just endgame things. So I just really loved Caroline and Stefan teaming up, fighting off a monster, not a monster, a werewolf. Something that neither of them have ever. Caroline more or less has never faced anything like this before. Stefan's never faced anything like this before. So it's just like they don't know what to do.
And
All
then
I know
Tyler
is
rolls up and he's
and
like,
saves the day.
"Don't stop." And then
And Mason
werewolf
listens.
Mason's like, "I bye."
Also, the one thing I wrote about this that still kind of angst me to this day is that the wolves that they used were actually like real wolves, like for the show. And now today, all we get is CGI, which I get. It's fine. It's fair. It's better.
It's also
But
super expensive. to get a
Yeah, it
werewolf.
is.
But also, I definitely wrote down this. I know this is supposed to be a wolf, but it straight up looks like a dog. Like it looks like a
I think
I
it
dog.
was a
just
dog,
think
actually.
that one is definitely a dog that they just
Hold on.
elongated the snout on, but, like, I love
I think
that
it was a
dog.
dog
Love that dog.
That
because
dog literally was panting. He was like running and panting. I was like, that's a dog.
I remember like when this was like airing, like in the like behind the scenes pictures were coming out, like they just had pictures of the cast like with dogs, and I was like, oh, okay.
They're just having a good day on set, I guess. Somebody brought their
And
dog.
we all knew werewolves were coming at that point. It was just like, oh, puppy. See, I
Puppy.
actually think it was a dog, not a real wolf, because that would
Yeah.
be expansive.
Real wolves are an endangered species, I'm pretty sure, in North
And
America.
also giant.
Fucking gigantic. Absolutely fucking massive. However
Yeah.
big you think a wolf is, it's probably a little bit bigger than that. Like straight up, they're fucking massive.
Hmm. Also, we didn't really mention this part. We'll go. I'm going through my notes right now. It's so weird that I'm actually doing like this. Matt and Caroline, when they were making out in the woods, peak entertainment. Thank you very
Three
much.
kids in a horror movie. We've been over this, yeah.
Yes, peak entertainment. Caroline almost killed him, and
She did. We totally brushed over that.
Caroline, we really did brush over that. Caroline almost killed her boyfriend, and she didn't realize, and that made her
Oh
realize
yeah.
like how bad she is, like how bad she can do it. Thankfully, Stefan saved the day, but like she realized like she almost killed Matt, and she wants to protect him more than ever. So this is like her worst fear kind of came to fruition. But yeah, just little.
It makes me very sad that that happened. Just like, cause I already saw it coming. It was like, that's gonna happen. Like, there's no way that's not gonna happen, especially because Caroline is like not in full control of like her person. She's like,
Yeah,
so like I just knew it was
a
happening, but I
neurotic
was just
control
like,
freak on
fuck, I
crack.
don't want it to happen. Yeah,
I
exactly.
did remember writing a note that I did write. How Caroline becoming a vampire was the start of the end of Matt and Caroline. How that was the start
Yeah,
of their
most
end, and
definitely.
it's
Most
sad.
definitely.
But it's just it also Matt brings out her humanity right now, and that's what she needs. Anyway, kind of
That's cute.
flashing back to Duke University because
Duke
this become like
University.
I forgot about this. We get information on Catherine because
Mhm.
Damon, being the little prick that he is,
Fucking
anytime
dick.
Elena talks about Catherine, she's just like, Damon just kind of like peeks over and she looks over at him and goes, "Oh, I'm not looking at you." Um,
He's such a
Damon knows some
whiny
things about
asshole, can I
Catherine.
just say?
I love it. I love it though. It's great. The one thing I will say though in this episode, and I know I'm probably gonna get slapped for this, the Delana banter throughout this entire episode was amazing. I
Mm,
loved it. I
mm,
loved it. It was
mm,
angst. I love angst.
I did
mm.
not see it as
Anyway,
angst. I more saw it as Damon being a whiny little asshole, and then Elena being like, "I'm done with your shit. Shut the fuck up."
Elena's
it was
like,
nice.
actually, I'm fucking tired of this. Can you just stop for like 5 minutes? Damon's like,
Yeah,
actually, no. And
that
it's just
too.
like, fuck. It's like, get the fuck
I
out
will
of
say
here.
though, when they're leaving everything, um, we also did get like a nice little thing about doppelgangers.
Mm-hmm.
How they like to torment
Mhm.
their the people they look like, ruin their lives.
That was
So
fun
Catherine
little
really is
thing.
that bitch.
Yeah.
Catherine really be that bitch. And anyway, but I did like that Damon kind of finally stopped being a little prick and gave Elena like this family Bible for the Petrovas. I can only say it like that, Petrova. You cannot say Petrova. It sounds
I'm
stupid.
gonna say
Damon is
Petrova.
trying 1000% too hard when he says her name.
He does,
He
but you know
is
what? That's the
trying
only way you
too
can say
hard.
it. But
No, you can say it like a
Katarina
normal
Petrova.
person. You can say
Katarina
it like a
Petrova.
normal person, you know.
Katarina Petrova. It sounds stupid.
But guess
Katarina
what?
Petrova.
I can't roll my R's. I can't do any of those fancy shits because my mouth doesn't work like that. So guess what I'm gonna say? Katerina Petrova. That's it.
How dare you? But it was nice because we're learning a little bit more about Catherine and like who
She
she
finally has
is.
a
And
last name.
yeah, no, we
Happy
already
for
knew her
her.
last. We
We
always
knew
knew
her
her
as
last name was Catherine
Pierce.
Pierce.
Yeah, we knew
Well, we
Pierce, but
didn't
now
know
she
like
has
what her
a real
real name
last
was.
name.
But it
Exactly.
kind of starts to give the answer like, well, why did Catherine change her name? why did she go by Katerina Petrova anymore? Like, why is she Catherine now? What
She
happened?
knew
So it's
that
kind
she
of just
didn't want to
interesting.
go. She didn't want to go by Katerina Petrova anymore because she was like, I'm tired of white assholes saying this name wrong because I'm from Russia. So y'all are saying it
Bulgaria.
wrong. So fuck you all. Fuck you, Brian. It's close enough. It's an Eastern
Bulgaria.
Bloc Soviet country.
Thank you.
Shut up, Brian.
Thank you. Bulgaria. Anyway.
I think this whole idea of like Catherine like trying to remove herself from like a past version of herself is definitely plays a role in the next episode that we're going to talk about.
They do. But I will say though, Jenna and Alaric kiss.
They're cute.
Them.
I like them. TBD Alaric has some rights, and mostly his rights are because he has nice hair and he likes Jenna. That's it.
I personally am like I like them, but I'm also a little creeped out by them because of the fact that Alaric is Elena's stepdad, technically.
Brian, why did you just blow directly into your fucking mic? You realize this is an audio production, right?
Wait, did I do that?
Yes, yeah. You went directly into your fucking
mic. No, sorry, like a piece of dust just flew in front of my computer, so it's like, sorry.
Into your fucking mic.
I can't.
I did not mean to do that. I didn't realize it was that loud.
That's like if I went,
oh God.
Like
self-isolation's going great, guys. Anyway, back to the Jen and Alaric and how they deserve rights.
No, I was
what you were saying before I so rudely interrupted.
I was saying that I don't mind them together. I think they're cute, but I'm always a little creeped up by it when I remember that Alaric is technically Elena's stepdad. You know? And then it's like, imagine your stepdad dating your aunt. Like, that's kind of creepy. That's
but also, is he though? Because Isabel was never her mom. You know what I mean?
So like it's never
in legal terms, maybe. Alaric's more of a father figure than actual like stepfather.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I 100% agree with that. I'm never creeped out enough by it where it's just like a problem. I just always remember that fact, and then was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Fair.
Yeah.
Caroline makes. Can I go?
I think we're about to say the exact same thing. Probably.
I think we're about to say the same thing. Where is that Caroline makes Matt break up with her?
Yeah,
and I'm sad about it.
I was really sad about it.
Wait a minute, did I miss that part?
Did you?
Oh my God, I missed that part.
Brian, you took notes for this. Brian,
I literally.
You took notes for this.
I was talking about. That's not what I was talking about. I was literally just like, I forgot that happened.
I almost cried. I was like, I saw it happening, and now it's actually happening, and it sucks.
You could see it coming from a mile away, but that still doesn't stop it from hitting like a truck.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
I mean,
I'm like Vicky Donovan standing in the middle of the road about to get run over.
She's about to get hit by a truck. We're going all the way back to season 1. We just recycle our jokes, folks.
Uh-huh.
Only when Brian's here.
Uh-huh. But yeah, now I'm sad. Now I forgot that happened.
Yeah,
How do you forget that was happening?
They do break up, and it's very sad.
I need a second. Okay. I need a second to.
No, we'll have a moment of silence here
for Kat and Marilyn. And I said Marilyn.
Hold on, let me blow my mic real quick.
Caroline and Matt.
Moment of silence for what's their ship name?
Marilyn.
Marilyn.
Oh.
It's kind of
so stupid.
It's stupid.
Okay, but
it's moment of silence.
Let's skip the moment of silence because there was a cliffhanger.
Skip the moment of silence. The moment of silence is an important gag in this podcast.
It really is in this audio medium. So I swear to God, if you don't shut up, Brian, I'm just gonna put one in here.
Brian!
I'm sorry, I should have coughed.
Okay, so moment of silence done. Brian ruined the joke. It's never gonna happen again. Say your final point, Brian, about the cliffhanger for this episode.
Catherine and Caroline team up.
Yeah, Catherine's just in Caroline's room. Like, hey, what's up?
Dude, I have a question. I have a question. Are they actually pairing up? Like, is it like Catherine's like threatening Caroline, or is it more like Caroline's like, oh, I have no choice but to
Probably
pair
a
up
little
with
bit
We
of
you?
both.
will. There's it's coming. Don't worry. We'll find out why Catherine's doing her thing. The one thing though that I didn't think about, and it just kind of clicked in my head, how the hell did Catherine get in without an invitation? And I just didn't think about that. Then I realized she looks like Elena, and she probably just talked to the sheriff and was like, "Sup, Liz?" And she was like, "Come on in, sweetie. Like Caroline's sleeping. Go bother her."
Yeah, exactly. Like,
The one
exactly.
thing I love is that all the citizens in Mystic Falls are so fucking dumb
Yeah.
that they don't realize that Elena's hair goes from straight to
Yeah.
curly.
Yeah. It's a true problem.
Yeah.
Like I get it for the audience so that they can tell the difference between Catherine and Elena, but also like it's so obvious, like especially in that one scene in the like the season 2 premiere where they're both like in the same like area, but like no one realizes how
Yeah.
she has different clothes and her hair is now straighter now.
The citizens of Mystic Falls, because I just did like a big rewatch, because I just rewatched season 5, because self-isolation's great. Like there's like a thing that happens, and I'm like, how do none of the citizens of Mystic Falls notice the shit that's going down? Are they just like, yep, there's some weird shit going on? All right, Jim, let's go back to work. Like,
That's probably it. It's that
they
great,
probably
great
just so
public school
used to it at this
education.
point. We all know how Mystic Falls does. Mystic
Yeah.
Falls High does.
Again, we go back and we analyze their school education system. We're like, wow, this really sucks, huh?
What school education system? None of them go to school.
Untrue. They go to a carnival. They go to the games. They do school activities.
And that's it.
That's
but
it.
yeah, otherwise, great episode.
That's a good episode.
Episode 4. Are you ready? Are we going?
Oh, we're like just going? Okay, sure. Yeah, episode 4.
Are we? I wasn't sure. Are we? Episode 4, Memory Lane.
The Netflix description for this episode is: Stefan is shocked when Catherine reveals new secrets about what really happened in 1864, and Damon tries a new tactic to resolve his issues with Mason.
New tactic?
Yeah.
What?
Huh? New tactics. 100% new tactics. Damon has never done this before.
To resolve his issues?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Resolve.
They have issues.
You can't have issues with somebody if they're dead.
Listen, the issue that Damon has with Mason is that Mason is hotter than him. So,
I mean, then Damon
actually
was
funny.
killing everyone because a lot of people are hotter than Damon.
Pretty much everybody on this show.
Yeah.
No.
Hi, Pixel. Do you have something to say about Damon?
Ow.
Well, she went back to licking her ass, so.
Same.
Oh God, Pig.
I'm so tired. Anyway, the one big note I wrote for this episode was love this episode.
Oh.
You just love it? Big fan?
Love it.
Can I just say with the flashback that opens up the episode?
It's really good. So it goes from flashback to dream sequence.
Not even just the flashback. I have to talk about Stefan's appearance.
Okay. Roast him.
Because he was wearing these white gloves, and all I could think about was Mickey Mouse.
It's a secret musket tool that Mickey tool that we'll save for later.
How you doing, pal?
The way his hand filled out his glove, it just looked like Mickey Mouse.
Stefan is the Mickey Mouse we deserve in these trying times.
Yeah, he really is. I just couldn't get over how much his hands look like Mickey Mouse. They're like, I don't know, it might have been just because his hands were too big or the gloves were too big, but very funny.
Yeah.
Hey, Jordan.
Hi.
Yeah,
you're not Jordan.
I am.
Hey, Jordan, how much time do you spend thinking about Mickey Mouse's hands? Because it feels like you've put a lot of thought into it.
And this is coming from the person who actually works there.
Listen, I don't spend that much time thinking about Mickey Mouse hands, but when I saw his hands...
No, first the furry, now this. Oh, we are disgracing this good Christian podcast.
I don't spend a lot of time thinking about Mickey Mouse hands.
You can just stop. You can just stop at I don't spend a lot of time thinking. It's fine.
I just thought you paused there, and I was like, oh, well, okay, well, that's it.
Me either.
We love
Rip
you.
to everybody who spends time thinking, but I'm different. My head is empty. I have no thoughts.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Okay, so this episode opens up with what we think is a flashback to a party in 1864 where Stefan is escorting Catherine in
Miss
the
Catherine
like Mystic
Pears.
Falls, the dancey thing.
I think it was actually Founders Day.
Founders Day, but they still do the same fucking dancing thing.
Yeah.
Because they learned that dance, and by God, they're gonna fucking use it.
The simple intimacy of the near touch.
And you go into this thinking it's just a flashback, and you're like, okay, yeah, cool. We haven't had one of these in a while. This would be fun. And then modern day Elena shows up, and you're like, hold the fuck up. And then more things happen, and it's like a weird nightmare for Stefan. And then he wakes up and like in a jolt, and Elena is like curled up on his chest, and they're taking a little midday nap.
Aww.
And he's like, okay, fine, I'll just go back to sleep. And he closes his eyes, and then you can see his eyes just burst fucking open, and he's like, wait! And then he runs across the room, and it is revealed that it is Catherine Pierce, who was all snuggled up and cozy to him.
I love how he only knew that because her hair was curled. I love that.
He like looked at her hair, and he's like, this is too much volume for Elena.
I loved how Catherine said, you gotta admit, I'm getting really good at this. Like, queen.
She is? Sure, man.
She can be Elena in a heartbeat, and she knows.
Literally,
like,
all she has to do is just straighten her hair. Like, that's all it takes. Like, it's that easy.
Not even that, apparently. She can keep her hair curly, and apparently people will fucking believe her. So, the less effort she has to put into this, the better.
If she can fool the sheriff, she can fool anybody.
Exactly. If she can fool an officer of the law, oh, she can do anything. Sky's the limit, queen.
I am the law. I will say, though, just as a general organization of this entire episode, because we will get in further into it, the Stefan and Catherine things, the scenes, peak awesome. Because it was nice to see Nina and Paul play like a different dynamic that wasn't Stefan and Elena.
Yeah, shout out to Nina Dobrev. This episode really fucking good.
She really like separated like because she did both. Like she did hardcore, like did double duty in this episode. She basically
did double duty for this whole show, dude.
Oh wait,
Nina Dobrev just did the most for the show.
I just remembered something from the last episode that I forgot to mention. Oh well.
Oh, no. What? Mention it at the end.
Okay.
Dun dun dun
dun. Nina Dobrev's very fucking good in this episode.
Yes.
Yes. Like the scene where they're in the living room and they're just talking and like she's like, right, you don't do human. Ugh, stupid.
It's
like
so
she like
good.
literally
they have such a good dynamic.
Nina and Paul's chemistry is amazing. And it's just great because they can play Nina can play two different characters and you can tell who the two different characters are, and she can still have a completely different dynamic from people she's worked opposite for a year now, and it's just like you still feel like it's fresh, new, and amazing.
It's also really admirable because there are oftentimes those actor combos and they can play one dynamic really, really well, and they can't ever adjust that. Like even with fucking Nina and Ian, they oftentimes can play just that one dynamic. They can't do the other dynamics really well, not as well as Nina and Paul can. And I don't know why like that is. It just feels like whenever you get to Nina and Paul, they have to play some new dynamic or some new stage in their relationship, you're like believing it. You're like, oh, okay, all right, what's up? And then with fucking Ian and Nina, it's like, oh, okay, sure, it's this dynamic. We'll have this dynamic for 8 seasons, and then we'll die, and that's it.
I agree.
I just wanted to point that out, that like they have a really malleable dynamic, which I really like. Stefan at one point asks Catherine, he's like, why are you back in town? And here's the thing, y'all. I didn't really think that she had left town. Was it stated that she was leaving town at some other point in time? Because I was like, did she leave though?
I think they thought she left.
But
I don't
did
think they
she
had
actually
any.
leave?
I don't think they had any proof that she actually leaves.
I
but
think it was
they
just like a general question as to why she's back. Like,
Yeah.
not like she left like between the episodes. I think it was just a general like, hey, why are you back here? Like, not that they didn't ask like 1,000 times, but like still.
And the answer for that is she's back for him. She
And
wants
can I
Stefan
just
back.
say, don't believe it at all.
I believe it.
I don't.
You don't believe it because she's a villain, and I love it.
Yes.
Right? She says this is her thing, and you're like, okay, but you keep saying this so consistently that this can't be the thing,
Exactly.
right?
Like, you have to
That
be
is
lying
true.
at this point.
Damon has a grand plan to kill Mason Lockwood. You know what that grand plan is? Silver.
Using silver.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's his whole grand plan.
Um,
And this
And
is
it just so
showing.
happens that Jenna has an entire silver set that Damon can use.
Yeah, just
how
like
interesting.
casually, very conveniently, that she's bringing
I
out
will
for a
say, though-
barbecue. Okay.
I will say though, the Damon things though in this episode with Mason were fucking hilarious.
I have a
'Cause,
list
like-
of their shitty fucking puns, and I swear to God, I'm so fucking sick of men. I'm so fucking sick of men.
I just loved how like this entire episode, Mason knew what Damon was up to. Like Mason knew like 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And
He was
like
just messing
even
around with
Damon,
it.
Dances with wolves wasn't obvious enough.
yeah, and then Caroline's like puppy with a tutu. It's like yeah, sure, yeah,
You're
dumb,
right.
but
Anyway.
I personally think that is just another example of men not stating exactly how they feel and trying to get around to it in different ways.
They're just like, hey, let's play this game. But then Mason's like, actually, this game's dumb. So we'll get to that later. We go to a flashback. Catherine is describing to Stefan, like how she escaped that night, how everything went down there, and we meet the forefather of all werewolves of this werewolf line, George Lockwood, with a very nice facial shape.
Yeah,
He just has a nice shaped face.
he's very beautiful.
He's
I will
really
say.
nice. I do love their scene where he's like, where she's like, she says something to him and he's like, why? Because you're the rope in the Salvatore's brothers tug of war. And she goes, no, because I'm a vampire that can kill you in your sleep. She just immediately goes like, I know what you are. You know what I am. I'm going to kill you.
I think
like,
I really do. I don't know how to explain this. I love Catherine and her one-liners. I love her as like a concept, but I hate her character, if that makes sense.
all right, I'm going to be putting in my formal recognition of this podcast. Recognition?
Oh, you recognize this podcast now? Are you on it?
Hey. I'm leaving. This is disgusting. It's not like
I hate her like in a, oh, you're such a bad character. It's more it's a different nuance of you're a bad character, like you're a villain and I don't like you, but that's what makes me like her as a villain.
Does
that make sense?
That's fair.
I'm not trying to say Catherine is the worst. I'm just saying that she's a very good.
I was about to pack up my bags and leave.
I'm saying
what
she's a
bags?
very
You're
good
never
villain.
here.
No.
You have at best a sock drawer in the apartment that is Afterbite. You're never fucking here.
I know.
Take your sock drawer and go.
I have one toothbrush.
Take your toothbrush and your half-finished tube of toothpaste and go.
I think she's a really good villain, and that's why I don't like her so much.
Valid. Very valid.
She's too good of a villain, though. Gotta give her that much. Anyway.
Catherine says that werewolves only exist in books and some really bad movies, as though this fucking show doesn't reference Team Jacob every goddamn chance that it gets. I'm so tired.
Yeah.
I'm just so tired.
There's so many wolf puns. It's like, how many... I have a question for the writers of this show. Did you guys just sit down and then just write a whole bunch of wolf puns and just made a huge ass, long ass list? It was just all right.
And then they just take them and they're like, this goes here, this goes here. Yeah, I bet you there was a whiteboard in the writer's room entirely devoted to wolf puns.
And I really hope they saved it because I want it.
I want a picture of that, please. Writers of the Vampire Diaries, please.
Yeah. But I did like how throughout this entire episode, the flashbacks really did answer a lot of questions. we all kind of thought like the tomb storyline was over, but it's kind of like, okay, now we need to know, why did Catherine do it? And we come to find out that
Go ahead.
Also what? Sorry. I forgot what I was going to say anyway.
Okay. I was going to say, also, you had learned earlier in season 1 that she had bribed some werewolf to get away from the tomb. She had said, or she had said, somebody I think was said, like she had bribed some man to get her away from the tomb.
Yeah, it was
now
a man.
You learn that
It's
the
a
man
werewolf.
that who happened to be a werewolf now, I know. I know that now. The man that she bribed was George Lockwood. She bribed him by giving him the moonstone.
What's a moonstone? What's a moonstone? What?
After. I know. Wow. I wonder if it could be related to werewolves.
Yeah,
Maybe.
whenever I see that moonstone, I'm just immediately reminded of Pokemon.
Yeah,
Pokemon,
okay, valid.
Gotta get the stones. That's it.
Well, right side, it's not copyrighted, so I'll take it.
Sounds like something that's
I sang it so badly that we won't get copyright striked.
Exactly.
Sounds like a jingle from someone who's never played Pokemon ever.
And I did though, and I liked Pikachu. He was cute.
Pikachu's cute and round.
Just like me. Anyway.
Stefan drags Catherine into the lockup that they have downstairs, just casually. And he burns her face with vervain while he's wearing the goofiest big-ass garden gloves he could find. And
Mickey Mouse gloves.
Exactly. I know Jordan said he looked like Mickey Mouse earlier, but this time his gloves really are strange and ill-fitting, and he does look like Mickey Mouse.
What's up with them not finding the correct gloves for Paul?
Maybe he just has an in-between sized hand, so they're all I don't fucking know what size of glove you need. I don't know, man. You have a 2.5 size hand. We have a 1, or we have a 2, or we have a 3. What do you want, Paul? He's like, I don't fucking know. Jenna has a barbecue with all of her friends from high school, which is just Mason, Lockwood, Tyler, or not even Tyler. It's Mason, Damon, Alaric, Jenna, and then 2 teenage girls.
Yikes.
So, a weird dynamic that they have already going into this.
How did they justify that is my question.
Maybe it was just they're inviting, I don't know, when they said Jenna's barbecue, I was picturing a larger party of Jenna's high school friends.
I wasn't even
strategically placing Mason Lockwood there.
I wasn't even thinking high school friends because it wasn't even initially said that it was a high school friends event. It was just Jenna's having a barbecue. I was like, all right, she's having a barbecue. She'll have some people over. And then when Alaric said, oh, I just wanted to meet Jenna's high school friends, I was like, friends? There's one person here who she went to high school with.
Also, they are inside for the whole time. Y'all have never been to a barbecue where I've stayed inside the house the whole time.
Exactly.
Get out into that motherfucking backyard. Play some cornhole, y'all. God damn. Continue, Brian.
Okay, hi. I think it was Damon actually mentioned that it was his idea for the barbecue, so he could basically attack Mason
Lockwood.
Interrogate Mason, without getting caught, but Damon got caught.
That would have been way easier though if there had been more people here, so he could kind of corner him off from the rest of the group, or they had been outside or something.
Maybe everyone else was outside while they were inside.
And half the neighborhood was outside chilling near the grill, and come on, y'all. Low effort barbecue. They played charade. They played fucking Pictionary at this barbecue.
Who does
Get
that?
The fuck
Guitar
out of
Hero.
town.
Guitar Hero.
Jenna broke up Guitar Hero. I hope Damon played Barracuda. Wow, that was a really bad 2010 reference. Oh god.
It really was.
Oof. Anyway, the Catherine, learning everything about Catherine and that she was running from something and needed to continue running because she's basically being found out and all the things. Wait, was that this? Hold on, please.
That was. Yeah.
That was great.
I think George mentioned that he was I'll help you escape from whoever you're running from.
Yeah, we find out that she's running from someone, but it's
Yeah,
like,
and that
okay, well,
and I think that
who's she running from?
that definitely answers the question Brian brought up earlier of like why has Catherine been like it brings more like I guess like questions like why who is Catherine running from? Does it have to do with the fact that she changed her name and like is trying to like get
Yeah.
away from someone?
Mm-hmm.
Why not be Katerina Petrova anymore? Why be Catherine Pierce?
Yeah.
So it's kind of just like it's interesting to kind of see like there's layers unfolding and
And also,
all that.
who is she afraid of that she's running from them?
Exactly.
Like,
Especially
And the
she
question,
because
seems to
like
be
Catherine
very old.
Catherine Pierce is fearless.
Yeah,
She will do
exactly.
anything.
So
So the
like
second that Catherine Pierce says that she's scared,
it's like what the fuck is that?
you better run.
Like what the
Yeah,
fuck
it's
is
not
that?
even that. It's not even that. Like she says outright that she's scared, but like you can infer it from the fact that she was running from everybody. She disappeared like off the face of the earth for 160 something years, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not even that she says that she was scared, but like if you think about it, you're like, who the fuck is she running from? Like
Yeah.
she's very old and very strong. Who the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrifying thought,
Who
huh?
is Who's Catherine scared of? And that who's big? Who's badder than Catherine? Like
Yeah,
who's
and then
Catherine scared of more?
then it brings you into like this whole like we're talking about a TV show. If there's someone who's bigger and badder than who's supposed to be, I guess like the main villain for this season, it looks like that person they're gonna come out later. They're coming back.
Oh yeah, they're
Yeah,
coming
they're
up next
coming.
season. Lord, they're coming.
Yeah, and I
Very
did write this kind of weird note that Catherine knows everything about everything, and it's amazing. And I just kind of threw this in. I don't know why, but Catherine probably knew about Malivore and like everything else, and she's just like, okay, whatever. Caroline's trying to keep during all this. Caroline's basically being like, "You and Stefan, like, it won't work out. Me and Matt didn't, like, all nervous." And Elena sees right through that bullshit, but still plays along.
Immediately.
Yeah.
She clocked.
But I did like how Caroline did basically like, you'll be in diapers while Stefan is still like hot and everything like that.
It's a
It
very
ca-
real
it makes
problem that
it
they
makes you
have to
think like,
address.
can human and vampires actually work out? Like
Yeah.
in the end, either it's death or one of them becomes a vampire.
Yeah.
So it's just like a nice little like thing, and it's like it kind of gets you thinking about that, but still Elena doesn't buy into that bullshit and just continues on
But
after Caroline sabotages her own car.
But also the thing about Caroline and just Candace's acting in general was that when I so like I watched the first episode and then waited a while and then watched the second episode. So I had
Mhm.
forgotten that Catherine had manipulated Caroline for a quick sec. So when Caroline was just like telling Elena, "No, you need to stay. I need you to stay." Initially, the way I had interpreted it was, oh, she's like dealing with Matt, and like she needs like someone to like stay there with her so that she's not by herself. And then I remembered that Catherine had influenced or like threatened or whatever to Caroline.
Yeah.
But like I think that's just such a true testament to like how good Candace's acting it really is because like if I was a friend in that moment maybe that's what would have crossed my mind, not necessarily that this person is like doing something nefarious, but like then like
Yeah.
later on as you see that like Caroline is becoming more and more desperate, you're like this has like to be some other thing, it can't just be about Matt. And that I think Candace did that very well.
Candace is great. We love her.
Yeah.
Please come back to Legacy season 3. Thank you,
Please come
ma'am.
back to
Please come
Legacies,
back.
Candace. We
Come back.
need
We
you.
need you.
We need you so
Anyway,
bad.
all of that just leads to like Catherine and Stefan still in the tomb. Catherine just goes, I don't want you seeing Elena anymore. She basically says, break up with her or I'm going to kill somebody, which is amazing. And the one thing I wrote for that is Catherine said Stelena doesn't deserve rights.
Catherine is the
Catherine is-
Selena auntie.
She is 100%, and we still love her. And me being the biggest Stelena, like, Stan loves her for that.
The way that she was
but it
just
all-
very casually like, you should
Yeah.
break up. You should stop seeing her. I don't like that
Yeah.
girl. Like,
I
bitch,
don't
you
want
are
seeing
that
Elena
girl.
anymore. And then one thing I love though is that like the big kind of plot twist that Catherine's kind of immune to Vervain.
Yeah.
That
Like
was
she
that
says-
was cool.
She says,
Like
Can I please, Brian, can I?
Yeah.
Can I, Brian?
Yeah.
Thank you. She says
I said it was
straight
okay.
up,
I said it was okay.
I've been sipping vervain every day for the last 145 years.
What the fuck?
Such a fucking power move.
Yeah.
She
I
got
think because she said,
blindsided once by Stefan, and the fact that Stefan had vervain in his system,
And she was like,
unbeknownst to
never
him.
again.
She's like, yeah, fuck that shit. Actually, fuck all y'all. I'm gonna be better than you. And I love that.
yep. It was awesome. And then I love kind of how like she overpowered Stefan basically and all that stuff like that. And then all of a sudden you just hear Stefan and she just goes, ooh, guess who's here? And she just zooms upstairs and for the first time, Catherine and Elena are face to face.
Can I just say,
It's so good.
even though that scene was really good, whenever a show has it's the same actor playing two parts and they're in the same room and it's pre-20, it's like 20 tons. It just always feels so awkward.
It does.
You
I
can
will say
tell
Vampire Diaries
it-
did get better with it. They did get better with it like as the show went on.
Yeah.
But like it wasn't pretty when it first started.
Nina Dobrev's
But-
power, though, cannot be understated.
Yeah.
Nina
No,
Dobrev's
you literally-
power.
You literally feel like Catherine is being portrayed by a completely different
Yeah,
actress
yeah.
that isn't even Nina.
Yeah.
And that like you can still tell the difference, but at the same time, when Catherine's pretending to be Elena, you still question like, wait, is that Elena or is that Catherine? Because like you just don't know. So like I remember watching that and like being able like to, you obviously can tell the difference between who's who, but like it just felt like it was two separate people and it wasn't the same person. And it's to this day I still will 100% call this scene one of my favorite scenes in the entire show.
Nina Dobrev's power cannot be understated. Help, she is too powerful. She's growing too
I will
powerful
say, though,
for
it
us
does-
to fight.
Yeah, my favorite line though is from this entire episode basically is how do we look exactly alike? And then Catherine goes, "You're asking the wrong questions." It's like, ooh, what question should she be asking?
Also, the
Miss
other thing is,
Catherine
though,
Pierce?
we look exactly alike. Yeah, no fucking shit, Elena. You're a doppelganger. You just discovered that earlier. You're a doppelganger, Elena. Yeah, no shit, babes. God.
Elena's dumb, but I love her.
You know, that's
Elena's
that's
so
that,
dumb.
That's that good Mystic Falls public schools education. Right there.
It's paying dividends now, folks.
Yeah.
So later on,
Oh, did we all? Oh yeah, I was gonna say, did we forget something? I feel like we did.
no, there's still some more in this episode that we're going to go over.
Okay.
Brian, if you had
Okay,
put your
great.
notes on the big document where the rest of our notes are, you would have been able to see that. I know, I'm asking too much for you to actually take notes and be on the show. I know, it's so difficult.
It's too much. I have such a busy schedule coming up this week. I have dinner with myself. I cannot cancel that again. Ugh. Anyway.
I was gonna say, my favorite line from this episode, or my favorite exchange from this episode, is Mason Lockwood comes home. Tyler Lockwood has the moonstone or whatever, and he's doing some research. Mason comes home and he looks over at Tyler and he's like, "You still pissed?" Tyler says, "You still keeping secrets?" Mason goes, "Yeah." Tyler goes, "Yeah, I'm still pissed."
Love it. Love it.
That's the most.
I loved it.
That's the most. Just the fucking peak comedy from this episode is like, "You still mad? Yeah. You still being dumb? Yeah. Then yeah. Still mad." Like, love it. Big fan. Fucking love that.
Love it.
Good banter.
But I do like that we did get answers on how werewolfism works now.
You gotta kill someone. Gotta spill human blood.
Yeah.
That is literally something because normally my first assumption was be like, you gotta be bit by a wolf under the full moon, like something like that. No, it's legitimately like a gene that you have to trigger by killing somebody. That is
Also-
like, it makes you think like, who did Mason kill to trigger it?
Mhm.
And like all that kind of stuff like that. Like, who do these people kill? Like, was it accidental? Was it like
Also, the fact that accidental deaths can lead to you triggering your werewolf curse. What the fuck?
Yeah. The other thing is I want to note is earlier in this episode they'd mentioned George Lockwood was a soldier. And he
I didn't
killed
think about
he
that.
obviously killed someone on the battlefield at some point, but could you fucking imagine doing your job, killing a man, and then like the next full moon you just become a werewolf?
Oh my fucking god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it's called a werewolf curse and not a gift.
And a lot of people have, a lot of the vampires or Well, the vampires. Stefan is the one who utilizes the vampirism as as a burden more often.
Yeah.
But if you
Yeah.
look back at a lot of the way that Damon talked about vampirism, he talks about it like a gift when he's getting it. When he is first being turned in 1864 from Catherine, he talks about it as a gift. It's an interesting juxtaposition from Damon talking about vampirism like a gift to the werewolf curse, where it is a curse
Yeah.
that you do
Yeah.
receive kind of unknowingly, you know?
And
I
like,
just think that's
and
a
the
fun
and
thing.
and you can also see like not only does Stefan seen vampirism kind of as a curse, but so does Caroline. She like talks about it a little bit in this episode about like how
Yeah.
when she's trying to convince Elena to not go see Stefan, how like Stefan wants to kind of like rip her jugular out every time he's with her, but like has to like
You
resist
know,
himself from doing
just
so.
vampire
Just
boyfriend things.
Yeah.
yeah,
And you're just
his
like,
vampire thing.
and you could really tell that like that's like a huge burden that Caroline is just like dealing with, just because like
Yeah,
of her
and
last encounter with Matt.
I will say though that the reason I like that how Mason is telling Tyler all of this is because he probably doesn't want this for Tyler at all. He came back because he's probably scared of Tyler probably acting out and doing something stupid and ta-da, killing somebody and triggering the curse without knowing what it was. But he also didn't want to tell him because like doesn't want to freak him out. But
Yeah.
maybe there's another like why is Mason also after this moonstone? Like why all of a sudden that? Interesting. Okay, this note that I wrote to myself. Where did it go? There it is. No, there it goes. I'm so tired. No matter what happens in like this season, they always end up at the grill.
They
Like
really
I don't
do.
know. I don't know what it is, but I
It's
also
the
wrote, how
fact
can they
that they
afford to
only
eat
have-
up this much?
It's the fact that they only have one real set where all the characters
They have like 3 sets, and that's it. Also, though, I do want to note the Mystic Grill has that good crushed ice instead of the shit ice. They got that good crushed ice, so I would also go to
We're
the
going to
grill all the
Covington, guys.
time. Let's go, y'all. I want to
Let's go.
I'm gonna be
Let's get
honest.
that good crushed
I'm gonna be
ice.
honest right now. Not a fan of any type of ice.
Bitch! Crushed ice, though!
Just not a fan. I have sensitive teeth. Makes my teeth tingle a little, and I don't like
Okay,
the idea
cancel
of
culture.
crunching.
Cancel culture.
We found her old tweets. Canceled.
You hate ice. Canceled.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, about the grill scene, though, it's kind of like it's nice that all the characters kind of came together at the end of all of this. It was nice. Also, didn't Damon like we find out that Silver is completely like
Yes.
bullshit.
Oh yeah.
And
Okay.
doesn't do
So
shit.
Damon tries to attack Mason Lockwood with the silver knife, and Mason Lockwood's like, "Dude, this doesn't fucking work. Go fuck yourself." And then just like leaves.
But also,
didn't we also find out that werewolves are immune to silver? Like it'll just won't do anything. Like they'll be completely.
I think it probably stabs them as much as anything else stabs them, but also they're werewolves. They heal faster, apparently, because he's like perfectly fine
not as fast.
Knife out.
Werewolves are fast, but not as fast. So I think that's kind of like he will heal, but like still. Okay,
Yeah.
I just had a
I guess my I forgot my train of thought.
Train of thought left the station. Goodbye. It's joining Brian's runaway train. So
oh, I now remember. I remember.
Yeah.
So Damon, right? Why? My question is, what was the reason? Why? Like
he just did not like Mason.
He literally was just causing problems for no reason. Like they were in the middle of like writing a pact, a werewolf / vampire pact, so that none of them would hurt each other. They all stay peaceful. They were in the middle of writing that pact, and then Damon was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna try to kill you because I can." No reason.
Yeah,
just
because. Mason tried to make a deal of like, let's not be like some ancient bullshit like sharks and jets like feud going on. Let's just be adults here. And Damon's like, yes, let's be adults. And then he stabs him in the back.
And you're just like, Damon, what is wrong with you? There was literally no reason for that.
What is the reason? So everybody comes together in the grill, and Elena and Stefan have a somewhat public fight where they break up.
My notes for this was Stelena fight. We love it. Normal couple things. just arguing about a vampire ex. I wrote this at like after I woke first thing I woke up yesterday, so I don't remember half the things I wrote for this.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's okay.
It's valid. At least I wrote something down.
They break up. They break up, and Damon is listening. So is Caroline.
Wait, I don't think they broke up. Wait, did they break up?
It was
They
very.
broke up.
I feel like
was-
it was not.
I think it was just a
clear.
public like fight. It was like a public fight, like where they were just like, "Leave me alone, like don't talk to me."
Jordan.
I think.
I'm not sure. I think.
Oh, okay.
I think that because like when they were talking about it before, it seems like they intended to like cause like a rift between them, but not necessarily like break up. Because
Okay.
then
I
also
don't think it was a breakup.
because then also like Catherine goes to Caroline and is just like, why didn't you occupy her for longer or whatever. So I feel like I don't know, they haven't like truly broken up, but there's like a rift between the two.
Yeah.
It's a pre-breakup public fight.
Yes.
It's like that stage where like white people are fighting in public and you're like, I don't like this. Take it anywhere else.
Yeah. Also, the scene that was kind of like before this, Catherine and Caroline, like Catherine like showing up in the bathroom, and like you could really tell that Caroline's terrified of Catherine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Catherine
did
kill her, so
yeah, I killed you once. Don't make me I can easily do it again.
Oh,
so good.
Queen
So,
moves only. But then we come back and
it was all an act. They're stronger than ever.
Okay.
They're beautiful. They're amazing.
Near the end of the episode, more Sarah Bareilles music is being played.
There is always fucking Sarah Bareilles being played. I do not understand.
And I think that
Sarah Bareilles, The Fray, Once One Republic, like take your pick.
I think that would be my one skill.
Birdie.
I think that would be my one skill, my one talent that I will contribute to this podcast. I will always point out when there's Sarah Bareilles music because I've listened to her entire discography. So like I can just tell you, oh, that's Sarah Bareilles.
Just like off the cuff.
Great.
Yeah.
But
so Stefan and Elena have a give me a moment, Brian. Stefan and Elena have a moment where they both say like, "Oh, it felt too real," and I'm like, "Ooh, I love you two. You two, this is a cute moment. Love that." And I also have the note here to finish it all off. Right, I have the note that Stefan's like cute, but is he 160 plus years of revenge cute? Is he 160 years of revenge cute? I think we all need to like take a moment and decide like, is he that cute?
I don't even need a moment. No.
Yes.
Okay. So
Stefan's the better man.
Yeah, but is he 160 plus years worth of better man, you know?
I mean, there's probably a reason why Catherine's so
Oh wait, you said Stefan. I thought you said Damon.
Oh no, I said Stefan.
I was like, what? No,
we don't talk about Damon right now.
All right. Stefan, I think yes, because during one of their flashbacks where like Catherine is explaining how Stefan was in love with her, and he like recites like a lot of like very poetic language, and just like
during that flashback. Sorry, let me put in here. During the flashback, old timey Stefan has fucking game.
Yeah. So like if someone said that to me, and then I would do 160 years of revenge for that.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? You've kind of changed my mind. Yeah, maybe Stefan is 160 years of revenge cute. So hey guys, we talked about both the episodes. Hey Jordan.
Yes.
What do you rank Bad Moon Rising?
I think while watching Bad Moon Rising, I was like, I like really did enjoy the episode. I liked how, even though we all knew who Mason was, like the characters discovering about that. I really like the lore of the whole vampire and werewolf being intertwined. I like the Caroline and Matt and Caroline and Stefan moments. And like the whole scene of Caroline forcing Matt to break up with her was like just so heartbreaking. And then we also got like a little bit of Bonnie in this episode too. Overall, very good episode. I think I'm gonna give it. I think I'm gonna give it an 8.
Giving it an 8. Okay. Brian, what are you
Oh
giving
my.
Bad Moon Rising?
Okay, so the one thing I loved about this episode was a lot of the mythology things, and that's
Mhm.
really, at the end of the day, what I love about Vampire Diaries.
Mhm.
It's not just the love story, it's not just the love triangle, it's a story about this town and everything like that, and that really reminded me a lot more of like there's a bigger world out there for
Yeah.
all of this. It's not just vampires and
Mhm.
humans being like rawr. Um,
A
and I
typical
also
human
loved,
sound.
yeah, obviously. I love that we finally got like werewolves finally because they've been hinting at it for since season 1. So it's like finally, yes, thank you. And their werewolves were done beautifully and amazingly. Um, I didn't like that there was just like party time, everyone's gonna get killed by a werewolf. I'm like, oh, okay, great. But honestly though, like the Caroline and Stefan stuff, like the Elena learning more about her history, I also will say I will say 8.5 actually. I'll
8.5.
do
Okay.
8.5. I'll bump it up a bit.
So, what I like about Bad Moon Rising is at the end of the last episode of Afterbite, I talked about how if they fucking kept dragging on
Yeah.
the werewolf stuff for much longer, I would be fucking sick of it. This, they resolved it all. We have werewolves, they exist now. You know, inevitably Tyler's gonna turn into one. And so I like that feeling of okay, finally. Like it's like the felt like the last episode was like us drawing in a really deep breath, and if it went on too much longer, we would have gotten like purple in the face. Now this episode felt like a really good exhale from the like draw in from the last one, you know.
Mhm.
It felt like a
Hmm.
really good exhale that I really enjoyed. I am though I am hesitating on where to rank it because I do love Courtney Ford. I love that whole little expedition to Duke
Vanessa.
University. Shut the fuck up, Brian. So I I think I'm also gonna give it an 8. 8.5
Okay.
actually.
Can
I
you
like
hear
the
that in the background?
yeah,
Ooh.
a little bit. That's fine. I can
Someone's
cut it out
making a
though in the final cut.
smoothie. Okay.
That's fine. I can cut it out. Um Hey Jordan, what are you ranking episode 204 Memory Lane?
For episode 4, I feel like I was like it was kind of lackluster for me if I'm being honest. I did
Mhm.
like the flashback scenes. They were
Yes.
cool and interesting. Um and then we also had like but I feel like the entire barbecue plot felt kind of like stagnant and like not necessary.
Yeah, okay.
Um
Fair.
and I don't know, it took like I don't know, Elena going to see Stefan, that also kind of felt like a journey that was taking forever.
Mhm.
Um I did like the Catherine and Stefan scenes though. I thought that like that was like a cool dynamic that they did. We got to understand more of like how Catherine got to escape, which is really cool. Um yeah, I don't know. To me, the episode was kind of like it was like good, but it was also kind of weak.
Mhm.
I think I'm gonna give it like a 7.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was like it's not like bad enough to give it close to like a 5 or a 6, but also wasn't great enough to give it like a 8, 9, or a 10.
Okay. Brian, what are you ranking
Okay.
it?
9.5. I'm not even gonna like pitter patter around it. I loved this episode. I full on loved it because it was just like it's awesome and it's great. The only thing I just didn't really like was that like the barbecue stuff because it was just okay, it's there. Other than that, it would have been a perfect episode for me. It just really is like what TVD is for me, and that's just like epic storylines and things like that, and just building on the plot that they could do for the rest of the season. Yeah.
It's odd to me that you say this is what TVD is building on the plot, but then also your problem with this episode is that entire barbecue plot, which is the entire B plot of this episode. Like,
Listen, we don't talk about the barbecue.
just like
Like
surgically
everything that
extracting
happens, like
something you have, it's just an
it just kind
okay
of felt like
episode.
some of the things that happened there just kind of felt out of place, but not like too out of place for me. It didn't feel like, oh God, why do we have to do this? It just felt like, okay, great, cool, get back to Stefan and Catherine.
Yeah, fair. I
That's
am
really what
gonna
it was for
give
me.
gonna give this episode, I'm gonna give it an 8 because I'm splitting the difference between you two. I think that the barbecue plot is dumb, but I think the other half of this episode is really strong and possibly strong enough to make up for the fact that that barbecue plot was bad. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of split the difference between y'all. There's that. That's it, folks. We so far season 2 very high ranking.
Yeah, very very
Now you
good
know why I
season so
said
far.
season 2 is my favorite.
And like
Now
Yeah,
you know why season 2 is my favorite.
I had kind of predicted that that these next couple episodes weren't going to be that great just because of how rocky like up and down season 1 has been, but I feel like they're actually starting to find their footing. Hopefully the next episodes are as good as these past 4 have been.
yeah, because by this point in season 1, just for reference, Jordan had given an episode a 3 and I had given it a 4. So really, this is already doubly as good as season 1
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, I think it's because with season 2, they're focusing in on this one big plot. Like how they advertise it, it's the year of the cat. And don't ask me how I remember that. But like it really, it all kind of comes back to Catherine, and it's like building on what happened with Catherine, everything like that. Oh, there's werewolves now. That's like, it's kind of not just like 1,000 different plots all at once.
But I also think the problem with season 1 is that I don't think they like knew what they wanted to be yet. I think they were just trying to test out a lot of different things. So that's why it kind of felt rocky. Like that's why some episodes were like really really good, and then some episodes were like this is not that great. But like the next episode is like really really good. I feel like maybe the writers have finally. I feel like they found their voice, and they've also established characters enough where it's like they like know how to write them well enough, and they have like an interesting plot and story to tell most of the time so far.
Most of the time,
definitely.
so far.
Listen, I'm not gonna give them too much leeway because I don't know if I can trust them.
Yeah, that's fair. That's valid.
It's valid. It's valid.
Next week, we are going to be talking about episode 205 and 206, Kill or Be Killed, and Plan B. So, a lot of haywire hijinks about to happen. Guarantee it. If we need a Plan B. What other end of show announcements do we have? Follow us on Twitter at AfterBitePod. New episodes are every Friday. You are always encouraged to watch along with us. Tweet us your thoughts as you go through the episodes. Depends on when they're tweeted at us, but they might be incorporated into future episodes. You just never know.
Yeah, and use the hashtag Afterbite or Afterbite, hashtag AfterBitePod, so that we can see them more easily. Or, you can tag us in the tweet as well.
That too. Do all those things.
Yeah.
And also, while you're at it, that's it. No, I have nothing else.
I have one more thing.
I got fucking nothing, dude. What's up?
I have 2 more things, actually. Go follow us on Spotify. I don't remember how many followers we had, but the last time I checked it was 72. So go follow us there. And then also go if you have anything that you want to share with us, and if we can somehow incorporate it into the podcast, like a voice memo or something. On Anchor, you can leave us a voice memo there.
Oh yeah, we should pump that again.
Yeah,
pimp that again. On Anchor, you can leave us voice memos. If you just want to fucking yell at us, do it.
Please do it.
Just do
You're
it.
not gonna yell at me.
That's fine. I'm gonna yell at you too. It's okay. They know by now. The other thing is, if you have Apple Podcasts, please leave us a review and rate us 5 stars there. It helps more than you know. Brian, that means I'm looking directly at you. Leave us a good review on Apple Podcasts. I know you have an iPhone. Do it.
Yeah, we don't have iPhones. You definitely have an iPhone.
So leave us a nice review and rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, please. And thank you. We'll be back next week. That's it.
Bye!
This is the point of the episode where we do the thing. Y'all know the drill by now. I just fade up the music. Who fucking gives a shit anymore?